ask you, what's it like knowing Roger Federer?
He's a great guy, absolutely. I got to know him actually in Dubai. Hitting with him is on a different level because it's just a very high intensity. Also, he's open to talk about everything, also about like my game and what he thinks I should develop and stuff like that. And just the impact was too much for my left foot toe, big toe region, and it just tore off. Yeah, basically where the tendon is attached. They call it turf toe, and it's most common in like football.
So maybe you're the first ever tennis player to get turf toe.
It's possible. I don't know. I didn't find anyone else.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Game to Love podcast. And on this episode, we have a very, very special guest, don't we, JG? It's a very exciting one.
Yeah, another one, and a man who's had an incredible 2020, some great results. But let's not waste any time. Let's get him straight in there. And it is Marc-Andrea Huesler.
Hey, welcome, Mac.
Thanks. Hi.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic to have you on, and especially being one of the brightest young talents on the tour in 2020. I think it was an incredible year for you. I don't want to go straight into just all about the tennis. We want to just find out a bit more about you, if that's okay, and a bit more about what goes on behind the scenes, and what have you been up to in the off season since sort of tennis has stopped.
Yeah, no, I mean, I live in Zurich in Switzerland. I've lived here all my life. I finished school when I was 19, and now since then I've been playing on the Pro Tour. This season was by far my best season, obviously. Actually, it was kind of unexpected because I got an injury last November. First operation I had to undergo, and yeah, basically the Corona time gave me enough time to recuperate, get back on track. And then in August, when the tournaments restarted, it really went really well. And right now I'm just I'm in my preseason, in the middle of it, trying to find out exactly when I can go to Australia or Dubai. Yeah, no, I mean, things have been going really great. I'm very motivated, obviously. Just it showed me how important the real preparation can be, because I always felt like sometimes I play very close matches against good players, but it's different to actually beat them. And now I'm just I'm really motivated to keep it up, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was looking obviously back at that November, and you were playing Harold Mayot, wasn't that right? In
Exactly,
where was it,
yeah.
Saint Dizier? What was the exact injury that took you out of that match?
It was, I mean, it's actually a very uncommon injury, especially in tennis. It was actually during a long point. I remember doing a split step, like jumping up in the air quite a couple meters behind the baseline, and he did a drop shot, and then I landed on basically ready to sprint forward, and just the impact was too much for my left foot toe, big toe region, and it just tore off. Basically where the tendon is attached.
Sounds
They call
painful.
that injury. It's a turf. They call it turf toe, and it's most common in like football when someone else with 150 kilograms lands on it full force. Wow. But to achieve that without any different impact coming it was quite weird. Also, I mean, they didn't really say there's nothing you can do to prevent an injury like that. It just seemed like it was just too much to handle, and at that moment, it just gave away.
So maybe you're the first ever tennis player to get turf toe.
It's possible. I don't know. I didn't find anyone else. Also the doctor, he read up on anyone who had that. Tennis player, I don't think anyone in tennis has actually had that. It's actually kind of scary as well, because it was just it didn't happen. I didn't make a wrong step or anything. Like when you twist your ankle, obviously what went wrong. But that was like a movement that every tennis player does like 200 times in a match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, it's always a good sign when you're breaking records. Hopefully, you'll be breaking other records next year.
For sure. Yeah.
I think that was. Do you see that as a little bit of a blessing in disguise, so to speak? Because since you've come back from that injury, this is the best Huesler that we've seen, and you've had some amazing results in 2020. We've been following your career in 2020 so closely, and both been speaking in detail about you on the podcast as well. Yeah, I think it's just been so good. What do you think? Do you think blessing in disguise?
Yeah, I mean, you never know what might have been if I hadn't been injured. But no, for sure. I mean, I can surely say that I was able to use this time well, and maybe it was really good. I got like a break of the tennis scene a bit to just also give my body time to just athletically get better. And then but when I started playing again, it was just like with no expectation. I just thought like, I mean, it's the first time I come back from injury, and I just want to give my best and be happy that I can compete on the level again, and hopefully achieve the same level I had before the injury. And I mean, it surely might have helped, but I mean, it's always tough to say if it was actually game changing. But I mean, I've just seen lots of other players like Roger, for example. I mean, if someone can come back, it's him. And I mean, the way he does that just basically also showed me, it's possible. Just I mean, it's always like if you use the time well, it's also always a chance.
Talking about Roger, obviously, we've got to ask you, what's it like knowing Roger Federer? We know, obviously, we've seen so many interviews and seen him play for so many years now. He seems like such a lovely guy. But what's your sort of experience with Federer?
Yeah, I mean, no, he's a great guy. Absolutely. I mean, I got to know him actually in Dubai when we were practicing there for 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Obviously, I mean, hitting with him is on a different level because it's just a very high intensity, and then you just focus with trying your best to give him a good practice, obviously, and then but I mean, it's just very interesting to talk to, just the way he sees things in practice, like what he values, where he would now also. I mean, he's open to talk about everything, also about like my game and what he thinks I should develop and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
It's it's very cool. But I mean, it's not like I know him that well. I've seen him in tournaments, obviously in Basel. I got him to warm him up once because he was playing a lefty. And then I think he ended up losing the first set against Manarino. And I was like, damn it.
I didn't do a good enough job.
No, I didn't do a good job, No, but that's obviously, I mean, having two great players in Switzerland is just, it's awesome. Because
Does that bring a lot of pressure for you? Obviously, being a Swiss tennis player, having Roger Federer, Stan Wawrinka, it's tough boots to follow, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it has its advantages and disadvantages, I'd say. I mean, we were able to play Davis Cup in the World Group because of them, basically. So they always saved us, kept us up, and I mean, that was just experiences there that I got, which also helped me in my career playing against Kashanov and people like that. It's just, very good. And then obviously the Swiss people, I mean, it's not easy to satisfy them. They're used to Grand Slam titles, but I think the people who know about tennis, they know that it's not that. It's just both very exceptional people, and that also the next generation is trying their best.
I mean, you've been spoiled a little bit. I think you've had enough Grand Slams. I think in Britain we're trying to claw a few back. And now Murray's up injured. We don't know when the next one's coming now. This is it.
No,
but I was going to say, let's if we can go into that incredible tournament that you had in Kitzbuhel. I mean, I know you came in as a qualifier there, and you actually came up against one of our sort of fan favorite players in the first round, Attila Balázs, who's amazing on the clay courts, and you absolutely destroyed him 6-4, and then
top 100 player as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean, that was also very special because I was actually, I mean, I started my first tournament in Czech Republic in Ostrava.
Yeah,
the first challenger I played after the break. I think I qualified and I lost to Viktor Troitsky in the first round, like 7-5 in the third, tough match. And then I stayed there because the week after I wanted to play in Prostayov, another challenger. And I didn't get in there. I was there on Friday, signed in, didn't get in. And I was like, well, okay, damn, I didn't get in. So I guess I'm going home. So I went home on Saturday. And then he actually gave me the idea to sign for Kitzbuhel. Because I signed up for that, but I never thought that I'd end up going there. Because I thought, like, if I don't get into a challenger, there's no chance of me playing an ATP 250 event anyway. But then, I went there on Sunday. Also with the COVID testing and that, like, it was something, it's always a bit different and new. And then I arrived there not thinking I was going to play, but then, I signed in. I saw myself in the draw on that same evening, so I played against Attila. I mean, in that kind of, I'm in a good position there because I really have nothing to lose because I wasn't even expecting to be able to play. And then, I mean, it's always easy to play matches when you're without pressure and you have nothing to lose. You can only win. And then, I mean, that match was by far, I would say, the best of my whole season. Like, that was this, yeah, like I said, 6-4, 6-0 victory. And I mean, I've always been a player who can be very annoying to play against, say it like that. Because I have a very aggressive game and I like to hit hard, also returns, go for big shots.
Yeah, I think Basilashvili is probably very annoyed if he's watching it.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. And that's, yeah, I mean, that's why I know on a good day, like I can be dangerous for everyone. And on that day against Attila, I just thought like, yeah, I mean, nothing to lose. And I really played my best tennis there. I played actually tennis that I never knew that I was actually capable of, to keep it up over 2 sets. And then, yeah, I mean, it might have been a couple of things. Like, it's also a bit of altitude in Kitzbuhel, like around 500-600 meters. Balls fall a lot. We have lots of new balls, which I'm not used to. So it's it's good to serve.
Well, and, for you especially. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Everything seemed to go your way a little bit, but not without actual amazing hard work and getting through some really, really tough opponents as well. One player we can't stop talking about is Emil Rusevori. You beat him as well in the first round of the actual tournament. What an incredible result that is, because he's a really, really rapidly rising young talent on the ATP circuit right now. And you beat him in 3 sets, but what a match that was as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that was surely a match. I mean, it was 7-6 in the third.
Yeah,
for sure. Also got a bit lucky in there in that one. I remember it was set break down. I think 6-4, 3-1 down. Not playing my best at all. Because I felt like I started thinking in that moment a bit again, because I qualified for a main event of a 250, and then obviously I also know Emil. I saw him on the Challenger Tour a couple of times. So he just wiped out everyone.
Yeah.
And but there again, I mean, I just tried to stay in the match. Tried to get in a match, and then suddenly I was in the 3rd set, and then in the 3rd set I was actually, not say the upper hand. It's not like I had big break chances, but I was actually keeping my service games pretty clean. And then, I mean, in a tiebreak of a 3rd set, I mean, everything can happen. It's just trying to stay calm and just.
You must fancy your chances though when it gets to the tiebreak, because being like a bit taller with that massive serve, and plus being a lefty as well, you got that whipping serve out into the backhand side on the ad side, which it works so well for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's I mean, for a player like me, it's basically it's a serve that you have to have in your repertoire. And yeah, I mean, it's good because, I mean, I actually don't have a favorite serve. Like, I feel like I can serve in, it basically depends on the day which corners of the serve I prefer hitting. So it's like some day it's something else, the next day it's the other thing again. So it's
that's good. It keeps your opponent always guessing as well. And like you said, Rusevori he had a brilliant 2019 on the Challenger Tour, was wiping everyone out. Then after that, you played some more experienced members of the tour and beat them as well. How impressive, beating obviously Fabio Fognini in the next round. And then after that, Feliciano Lopez.
Oh yeah, I think the Lopez one's super impressive as well. I think the Fognini one, he was coming back from injury, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I knew, I mean, there again, I mean, I thought like, okay, I can play against Fognini, that's great. I mean, obviously it's kind of a dream, like, to see what's possible. But then again, I knew, I mean, I also just come back from injury. I knew
it's on clay as well, remember? Fognini on clay. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing that, I mean, he's beaten rough on clay and stuff like that. But then I also knew that it was my first tournament I played in Switzerland. I actually lost, I think, in the 3rd round here against a Swiss junior. And I was also not playing well at all, obviously, after a break like that. So I knew it, like, he's not in it. Like, if there's a moment to beat him, then, like, he has no confidence.
Yeah,
no matches played. And I'm the complete opposite. I've now basically had a great run already, and I have nothing to lose again. And then during the match, I was also like, is this actually happening? Like, is this score? Is this score real? And then, But
you played so well, though. I think you exploited his sort of lack of mobility. You just mixed up the whole shots well. Did lots of good drop shots, played him around from left to right, and he didn't have any answers. So he just played a perfect match.
That was, pretty, from my side, it was pretty perfect, because I felt like every time he like got up his level a bit, I was able to play like an amazing shot, which kept him down again for the next couple of shots. And then when he came again, I was able to put it up again. And I mean, he was standing so far back also to return, which gives me the time. And I have a fast arm. I know when I serve well and I can hit my big forehand and go to the net, keep the rally short, try to not give him a rhythm, attack his second serve. I mean, I realized it's not easy for him to play either. And then especially when you're up in the first set, you're up, you win the first set, and you get another break, you're up in the second as well. It's not easy to find in the match, and I mean, I was very happy with that victory.
It's very good. I mean, being saying that sort of thing, I know we spoke about a lot. People standing very far back behind the baseline. I know that you're obviously a very powerful server. I'm a very big proponent of the big servers just dropping in those underarm serves. I love it. I absolutely. Have you ever thought of just adding that in? Because I have to stand so far back for people.
I
like
knew you had to ask the question, man. You couldn't help it, could you?
I know. I couldn't help
No,
it.
I mean, it's not the thing is, I mean, it's not like I've practiced that. I feel like, I mean, it is an option. I'd say it is an option. If someone is standing really so far back, it's just, yeah, I somehow feel like if I hit my serve in the right place with the right speed, chances of me winning that point are very high. And I honestly have enough experience making with the underarm serve. Like the few experiences I now had in practice were not too good, but also because the underarm serve was not really good. So
practice makes perfect.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just like if I want to invest the time in that in practice to, I don't know, like 20 minutes a day just to doing that to see if I can put that in. Yeah, I mean, something like, I mean, same thing with the saber on the return. That's also something that I didn't do in Kitzbuhel, but after on on the challenger tournaments, I put that in a couple of times, and actually, yeah, it turned out in those games I suddenly broke him at the end and turned out winning a match, maybe because of that. Just yeah.
Wow, that was it was super well impressive against Fognini. The match against Lopez I thought was just even more impressive still, because this was a Lopez who's been having a great season, to be honest, and he had a good 2020. You saw him even take set off Rafael Nadal like later in the year, so he's not playing badly.
Lopez, he'd become better, didn't he, later on in the season for me? But still, to beat him is phenomenal, yeah.
You pinned him to the baseline, and then every time he came to the net, you seemed to be able to fire this backhand down the line, and it was just passing him. It was just the money shot. It was amazing.
Yeah, let's also add both of these players in straight sets as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, Lopez was basically also kind of an idol for me, the way he plays. Also tall lefty, likes to come to the net. So I practiced with him once in Geneva, I think last year at the 250. And I thought, like, yeah, I mean, it's his serve is really big, you know, his slice is not really, it's tough to deal with. I mean, there again, in that match, I honestly, I was feeling so good about my tennis, obviously, about the victory against Fognini, that I just had so much confidence that I really felt like, look, I know I had a real game plan against him. Like, I feel comfortable playing forehand cross-court heavy against his forehand. Don't have to be shy of that. I'm going to try to attack his second serve. That's something which I just basically always do. And then, like, also during the match, see if I can then, see how it goes. And I'm sure, like, what for sure also helped was just the higher bounce, I'd say, that his slice is not so low. And then, basically, I mean, I know how hard it is to play against people who you don't know, who you feel like you have to beat. But there again, like, the basis is just my service games. I'm able to win those. And then it also gives me more room on the return to take bigger risks. And when you're ahead, it's somehow always easier to play. And that was also in my match in both sets. I make an early break, and that just basically helps throughout the whole set. And then, I mean, towards the end, obviously, I was also very nervous. But then, happy that I can break him again and not have to serve it out, you know. But, I mean, he's an incredible player. Just what he's achieved with those, I think, 62 Grand Slams in a row is just, but then again, it showed me how much is possible, you know. Like, it's really motivating to see a guy like that, the way he plays, and it's I mean, for sure it's still an idol, because there's lots of things I also can learn from him. And
definitely, I think so.
This tournament in a whole, we've covered it from all angles. Yesterday we had Jannik on the podcast, and he was the finalist of the tournament playing Kecmanovic. Unfortunately, you went out to Kecmanovic, but he was the eventual winner, so it's not too bad. But he's an up and coming player. What was it like playing him?
That match was actually was really tough. I felt like really tough, because I don't know why, but I just felt like he's returning every single serve with a good length. And I didn't know him the way he plays. Really, I had no idea, like, the way he plays, and also, like, the inputs I got before the match were like, he doesn't do anything special, but he just plays really well.
all
you know,
round.
and
Yeah.
it was just kind of, I felt like I was always on the wrong foot. Like I couldn't read his game at all. Like I had no idea what his favorite shots were, where he was going because I felt like he was playing everything more or less, like passing.
He's
really
super
well.
consistent, and his overall game is brilliant. And he's only 21 as well, so the future could be really big for him.
But there again, I was not playing a good match from my side, but then I found a way in the second set, basically by playing serve volley nonstop to stay in the match. And then suddenly had one bad game, and I was in the third. I was even up in the third set as well. But that was more of a, it was a painful loss just because I felt like I realized, a lot of it is possible. So to play Huntsman in the finals, obviously a 250 event would be huge.
Yeah.
And then but then again, it was a weird match somehow because also I felt like he was actually serving well, but at the same time double faulting a lot, like taking big risks on second serves, which wasn't like giving me the opportunity to attack him because when they came, they were too fast to attack, so I just missed. But then he also double faulted a lot, so it was like, okay, what do I do? Do I play with my position now? Do I stand back? Do I try something else? And then I just thought, come on, you've been doing well this week. Just try and do the same thing again, reproduce it, and then
Well, I thought you played really well, considering he's such an awkward player, and considering he's a player inside the top 50 as well. I think you gave a great account of yourself, and considering you didn't even know you were going to be playing this tournament before it even started, and you got all the way to
the funny thing is, it's similar to what Hanfman said as well. He was saying when there's no pressure on you sometimes, and he wasn't feeling particularly good. He just sometimes it brings out your best tennis. So it's interesting. You and him both said similar things really regarding that.
Yeah, no, it's something I think every player knows that. Like, it's so much harder when you actually. You feel like before the match you have to win the match. You feel like you're the better player, you have to win it, and then you just it can be, if you're not loose, if you're a bit too tight sometimes, then it makes stuff a lot harder. And if you have nothing to lose, then just there's nothing really in the way of playing your best. But then of course you need a mixture because at the end, once you get better, like something I think players they learn to deal with that. And it's something that sometimes if you play against first seed in the first round, it's not easy for both players. But then again, at one point in a draw, you have to beat them anyway. So
yeah, you do indeed. It's just I think you just gave a great account of yourself, and I think that the future is very bright if you've managed to do that in 2020. I think 2021 we could be seeing maybe one step closer, maybe getting to the final, maybe grabbing an ATP 250 possibly.
Or even maybe breaking into the top 100. Like, is that a big goal of yours?
Yeah, no, for sure. My first goal was just to be able to basically play a Grand Slam. Qualies was a big goal. And then when I achieved that, then, after Kitzbuhel, I was able to win 2 more challenger titles, which got me now to about 150 where I am. And it's still lots of points to get in the top 100. But that's obviously the big goal that's now ahead of me. It's tough to say where you at the end you end up, but I feel like it's just the season has shown me that really a lot is possible. So I'm just very motivated about that. And then again, I also know it's tough, all the players want to be there, and I already feel like if I'd be able to defend all the points that I made this year and stay 150, that'd actually also be quite a good achievement.
I agree, yeah.
But then because it's just a lot of points, I feel like
you've picked up a lot, and it's gonna be a tough year to defend them all. But if you play in the same way you did this year, there's no reason why you can't. And maybe you could even add an ATP 250 to it as well.
But then again, I'm just happy if I get into an ATP 250 event. I'm not sure what the cut for qualies are, but usually I think with 150 or around there. I'm not even sure I get to play one again, but then Grand Slam's obviously very motivating because I just know you can play 3 challenger players and then you're in the main draw and then you have a good run there. You've seen it with Sebastian Korda, for example. He's just able to run through it, and now he's I think 120, 110, and is really not far off of the top 100.
And that sort of ties in nicely. Oh yeah, sorry, you're going to say.
Go on, Ben.
I was going to say that sort of tied in nicely because you're mentioning Sebastian Korda there. Actually, somebody that you beat in Sibiu in Romania when you won there, which that's still an amazing.
I played in Munich. It was in Munich where I played against him on carpet in Izmir, the challenger.
Yeah. And didn't when was that one that you played him on carpet? Oh, sorry, in Ismaing. Sorry, yeah. Apologies.
Exactly.
I've got them mixed up. The two that you won.
No
Yeah,
worries.
in Ismaing you won. Yeah, and that was 6-4, 6-4 against Korda, which is very, very good. He's had an incredible year as well. I mean, you've got to remember he obviously did so well in the French Open. He nearly did well against Rusevori, but Rusevori had that amazing 15-point comeback against him.
I remember, yeah.
So unfortunate. I felt bad for him in that, and he looked really disappointed. But to take him out in that fashion, 6-4, 6-4, what was that match like? Because he's obviously a highly touted young player as well.
Yeah, I mean, that match, it was on carpet, which is, of course, not many tournaments have been played on carpet, and that tournament in Ismaning is a special tournament because it's really, really fast, and it's basically really just serve, return, and first shot, and then the point is usually over.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, I remember that match. It was kind of weird because I didn't feel like I was playing really well, but I was just able to win all the important points somehow. Like I remember like also saving break points with an ace out wide with a second, and stuff like that. And then just a couple break chances that I had, I just used them and I was able to hold my serve throughout the whole match. But I feel like I had like 10 break points against me and he had probably like 2 or 3. And I was just able to make him and he not, and at the end it was 6-4, 6-4. Which is, I mean, 2 weeks later I had the same thing against me, against Ivoshka. I lose 6-4, 6-4, and I was actually like, didn't do much wrong, but I just won the wrong points.
Yeah, with tennis it can happen. It's such fine margins, but them 2 tournaments you did, what was it, in the space of 2 months, really?
Yeah.
Well, in the space of a month, really, which was all very close together, and you beat some really good players. Obviously, the first one in Romania, Miedler, Ortega Almeida, Borna Gojo, Gomez Herrera, and Echeverry in the final, and you bageled it with the second set.
Yeah.
Would you say is clay your favorite surface?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I mean, I grew up on clay in Switzerland, and I've made my best results on clay, but I would now not consider myself a clay court player at all. Okay. I'd say if a clay court is like a bit of altitude, it's a bit faster. Like I won my first challenger in Mexico and in San Luis Potosi. That was also on clay, but like 2,000 meters. For sure, I feel like clay altitude is probably there where I've been able to play my best tennis. Also in Gstaad, like in Switzerland, the 250 event, I was able to play a Malgro there. But then again, I feel like I can play on carpet. It's also something, my service on carpet is way more tough to deal with. Grass, I've not played that much, but I feel like grass is also something that I'm able to adapt my game for that.
With this carpet, sorry to just interrupt. With carpet, I know this is an unfamiliar surface for a lot of people. What type of surface is this that you would be playing on? Just for there's viewers like watching who might not know this surface.
Well, basically, it's like a carpet you have at home.
Really?
It's a carpet where, I mean, sometimes they have like these small grains on the carpet. Some carpets have none at all, and if they have a lot of them, then it also can be slippery. But just the bounce is really, really low. The bounce is like there's no bounce basically. So like the slice just goes through. It's similar to grass in that perspective. Also because on the return you just have no time. You have no time to swing.
Yeah.
You can block. But then again, it's so fast that it's like if you hit a good return, it's tough to deal with the return as well.
They're usually quick matches, right?
Matches don't last long usually, unless usually the matches. They can last long. That's the funny part, but not because the rallies are long, but just because the score is long.
Yeah.
Like my first round in Ismaning was against Dustin, and we played. Not played too long, but we played a 7-6 in the third, and I think it was also over 2 hours. Because like we didn't. Yeah, we just held serve.
Yeah.
Like,
just under 2 hours. Yeah.
Serve, and then it still takes time for the match to go through. Like on clay, you might have a 6-2, 6-2 in an hour, which is on carpet. Like say. Obviously, if you play well on carpet and you bagel the guy, it could be done in half an hour. But usually that's not the case because you cannot break the guy non-stop because it's just so tough to return.
Another long match he had was 2 hours 20 there as well. I'm just saying against Van der Slot. He's a young Dutch player, very good player. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of battles with him in the upcoming years.
In the finals against that was there again. I think it was 6-7, 7-6.
7-6, 7-5.
7-5, something like that. So like almost 3 tie breaks a match that's also like really
I
tight, like a couple points decide the set and then the match. So
yeah, I watched that whole match actually, and I just thought this is going to be a real interesting match between you two because you've got quite similar styles in a way because you're both massive servers, and it was just quite interesting. It was a lot just dominated by the serves, really, and you can see by the scoreline. But when you got into that final set, I think you just managed to just break him somehow. I think it was just 5-all? I think you broke him, and then
5-all I broke him. Yeah, remember that?
and just incredible performance. Really, I was backing you.
Determination.
I was backing you. I was like, I reckon he can dig this one out. But it was very touch and go, that match. It could have gone either way, really.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's the thing about tennis, that sometimes it's really close to each other, and something that really I did well this season. I was able to win almost all of the tight matches. I think I had like a tiebreak record of 14-2 at one point. So just every tiebreak I ended up winning, which obviously helps then, winning those tight matches. And I also asked myself, like, what is the reason exactly? What am I doing in these moments that I end up winning? And it feels like that just in those moments, I'm not scared to play aggressive. And then when I play aggressive, I have the biggest chance of winning.
Like, a bit like a Novak Djokovic, a challenger version of Novak Djokovic, winning all the tiebreak.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny sometimes that like it's a bit of confidence can change the outcome. And then obviously when you've won 4 or 5 matches, tight matches, you feel like, well, okay, at one point you're also going to lose a tight match. But then when you're in that tight match, you feel like you know how to deal with it. So it's just like, yeah, I'm fine with that,
Well, that sort of ties in nicely. I just wanted to touch on another tournament, which was obviously in Sofia, with a very, very tight match at the end with Basilashvili, in which he had the match points against you. I think it was 2 match points did he have? Yeah. And you managed to hold him off and then came back and then managed to win the match in the tiebreak. But how are you feeling at the end of that match? I mean, it must have been very, very nervy. I was watching it, but it's hard to know what's going through your mind during those times.
Yeah, no, that was there again. I mean, the preparation to that tournament was non-existent because I remember on Friday I was playing quarters in Germany in Eckenthal against Ivashka and doubles and semis. Ended up losing both on Friday, and then I felt like, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm in Sofia, I could go. And then I called the supervisor, said, yeah, there's a flight tomorrow, I could take it, and then play the same day, first round qualies. And I ended up doing it, just saying, okay, last tournament of the season, just see what's possible. And then I won my first round of qualies, lost in the second. And then there were 2 lucky loser spots and 3 players. And right after the match I lost, I chose the other 2 players. So I was feeling kind of down. And then, and then the next day I said, okay, I'm going to sign in anyway. You never know, someone might pull out. And then, it's like 11 in the morning. I got a call saying, Travaglia is pulling out. So I'm playing against Basilashvili at 12. Luckily, I'd warmed up with Sinner the same morning. And then, I was ready to play. And that match was there again, very special because the first set I completely blew him off the court. Played really well. He was not in the game at all. And there again, I saw that he had not won a match since the break, so I felt like, okay, he has no confidence, like 0. So I really have something to win today. And then, I didn't try to think too much in that match as well. When you have match point down, you're trying to wing it somehow. I remember I played serve ball, I think, over second serve there.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way there as well. And in the tie break, it's not a very tough match. Ended up winning, and it was
I will give some credit to Basilashvili, to be honest, because he's had a terrible year. He's not played very well. He's had a lot of stuff going on. But for him, like he played a lot better in this match. Like he raised his game quite a bit, and it was very close. And in theory, he could have won it, but you just showed so much grit and determination. Yet again, it's sort of been the story of 2020. Just getting it over the line.
Somehow trying to finish the match. Just win the last point. It's funny sometimes how that can turn out. And I felt like he was getting stronger and stronger the longer the match went. And I also had chances in the second set to break him, didn't use it. And then and suddenly I was in the third set. I felt like it's tough. I feel like he's in the game now. And but then again, it's just one point. somebody has to win the match, someone has to lose it, and it's not going to be the last time I win or lose tight matches with match points against me.
Do you ever feel bad for your opponent when there's somebody like him who had lost 12 in a row and you're thinking, oh no, I've just inflicted another one on him, or do you just go to the next round and don't think about it?
Well, no, I mean, it also depends who exactly. I mean, obviously, like my friends on tour are usually like around the challenger level. I do feel with them, but then on that day when you play against them, your opponents, and you have to look out for yourself. And it's not like I don't know how it is to have a losing streak. Like I also had that before. I've also had 6 match points for me, and then I lost the match. So at the end, it's part of the game. And usually, I mean, players know how to deal with that. And at the end, it's just like it's a match, and the next match goes on. Like obviously, if the opponent injures himself, that sucks. And you're not happy for that. You're maybe happy you won the match, but just not the way you did. So I mean, that's just something that I think every player basically thinks that way.
Well, regardless of that, you won that one, then you're in the hat to the next round. And I feel like we have to talk about this guy because I don't think we've ever had a podcast without mentioning his name. And that's Jannik Sinner. Everyone in our chat, usually we do podcasts live, me and Ben, and we've always got people talking about Sinner. What's he going to do next year? Can he win a Grand Slam? Will he reach top 10 next year? There's so much pressure on this guy. And it's a good reason for it, to be fair, because he is a phenomenal talent at such a young age as well. He carries so much maturity. What was your experience playing him?
I honestly, that match, I felt like a lot more would have been possible. It was at the end, it was a clean result, 4-6, 4-6, 2 times 1 break.
You held a very good account of yourself, though. Very close.
Yeah. I felt like I had chances in both sets at the beginning to maybe have a look at a break, but then just playing actually a stupid game in both sets. I think at 4-3, like 5-4, a bit out of nowhere. But there again, I felt like sometimes he just surprised me. Like I felt like I had the upper hand in the rally. Like I was hitting a big shot, and then out of nowhere, I just got a winner. And I just felt like, okay, it's weird because, I thought like I was the one dictating the point, and then he just says no. And then I mean, his service obviously is just also pretty tough to deal with. And I mean, he has lots of aspects to his game, which I mean, he also still can improve, which is actually even more taunting.
Scary.
That is like, I mean, there's nothing he can't do. Like he can volley, he can move well, he can return well, he can serve well. His backhand is great, forehand is great. His mental game is great as well. I mean, obviously he's young and motivated to do well, so it's for sure very interesting. I mean, I remember I watched a match he played against Rafa in Paris. I was very interested to see that, and I also thought like, well, the first set he has to win the first set.
I agree.
He's the better player, and then if he wins the match, it's a different story. But the first set he has to win, But then you see, I mean, he played against Rafa on a center court in Paris.
But there's still not many people who can say they've played a better set. I know he didn't win that set. However, he was phenomenal in that first set and very unlucky not to win it.
For sure, and that's why I think I think everyone is very interested to see how he'll develop next year. And it was also a big match for me to be able to play against a guy like him who's like really growing so fast, and also seeing there again that it's a match that's tight. We both have our problems in a match, and it's not easy for either of us. And then I mean, obviously I went up winning the tournament, which is huge. And I'm for sure he's going to be a great player, but then maybe he'll need some time, maybe he'll do it right away. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. He's just broken. Well, he's obviously in the top 50. Obviously, he's up to number 37 in the world now. He's probably going to be setting his sights on maybe the ATP Tour Finals or something crazy like that next year if he can continue in that vein. But what we want to know is, what is your goal? What's your main goal that you're going to set yourself for 2021?
On one hand, obviously stay healthy, injury free. That's always the goal. That's in the back of the head. That's like the most important thing, basically. But I mean, for me, I'd say now, after the season that I've had, like, there's no reason not to aim high. That's why I'm saying now I want to go for top 100. I want to qualify for a Grand Slam. I want to, challenger titles. I mean, it's tough to say how many challengers I'll be playing they can change so fast. Like if you start off well in January, I might only be playing ATPs, but then on the other hand, if I don't do well, I'll be playing challengers the whole year. So yeah, I mean that's for sure. Like one big goal is to basically from one hand confirm my ranking and then aim higher. And then same thing in doubles. I mean I like to play doubles a lot. I enjoy it.
Yep.
It's not easy to play both at the same time at 100%. But there again, I mean I know in doubles as well how much is possible, and like I'd always say, like a goal for next year would be to get my doubles ranking high enough so I'm able to play 250 events in the main draw and qualies of singles. But then, for that, I'd obviously need lots of points in doubles because those guys also, they play well.
Yeah, you won a title in Hamburg, didn't you, in October, which was in doubles with Kamil, is it Mazrak? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. And you beat one of our British guys in the final, Lloyd Glasspool. He was playing with Alex.
Yeah, no, I mean, doubles is something I've always liked to play, and I think also, I mean, I won my first challenger, I think, like in 2018.
Yeah.
Out of the qualies, and then I got a wild card in Basel, and I played with my guy from Holland, Sam Verbeek. And we got a wild card. We beat Klaasen and Venus, and they were number 3. So we thought like, well, okay, in doubles, a lot is possible. And then also in Stade, the semis 250, and then I was able, I think, to win. I played a couple final challengers as well. So in doubles, I always felt like, if I would now play 100% doubles every week, I would be able to get my ranking up pretty fast. But that's just, it's not, you cannot do both at the same time. Like they usually correspond, and giving up singles the week after just to play doubles is then, it also hurts, it hurts your singles ranking. And now I'm at the point where my singles ranking is higher than my doubles ranking. So I'm just going to be using that to play doubles in the weeks that I can, and hopefully get my doubles ranking up again. And then maybe with a good week in ATP, then be able to crack the top 100 or top, just so I can play good events again in doubles as well.
Sounds brilliant. Sounds like you got some really good goals for 2021. I wish you the best of luck with all of them. Just a final question we've got for you, really, and that is, who is your favorite player to watch on tour?
I'd say Roger. Because I feel like the way he is able to also change his game, and also like at his age, to come up with ways to win a match is just, it's simply incredible. I mean, just so many things that he does well, and that other people, it makes it look so easy. And then, I mean, there were so many good matches that I've seen him play. Also in doubles, for example, out of nowhere. And Davis can remember that when he played doubles with Stan. Like, wow, they play incredible. And Stan, the same thing. I mean, the way he can play doubles is just, didn't know that was possible, And then it's just,
tennis brain is their tennis IQ is so high, isn't it? So they're able to adapt their games just crazy.
Yeah, it's really, and it's the way they start a match, the way they really go through it, like the shot selection, the way also, I mean, something which I really feel is something I also have to improve on is my return game. Just the amount of returns the top players bring back on great serves is just so high. I feel like, how are they doing that? I mean, there's just, I mean, I feel if I watch Novak play, it's just every single return comes back. It's almost daunting to play against them. Like, how would it be if I play against them? I have to find a way to get my returns back, or else it's going to be tough.
Do you think that's where, for those type of players, do you think you have to incorporate a bit more serve volley and just get into that net, try and finish the points quick?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's basically always a line. But I know I play against the better the player, the more aggressive I'll have to play to win. So. Yeah, I mean, I know the way I beat these guys, at least now up to number 12, I know it's possible. So I have to focus on my game, and I also know there are going to be weeks where it's not going to go well, because it's like it's a fine margin when you play this aggressive, that things can go wrong pretty quick, especially if you're not feeling too well. The other guy hits some good shots, you suddenly break down and you start thinking, and not going to be easy. But on the whole, like I feel like the weeks where I play well, I really have to play really well to make those work.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree. Right, I think that we've had you for quite a long time here, Mac. What we were going to say is we want to now play with you the game that we're going to play with every guest that we have on the Game to Love podcast, which is our new game, which is called Shot Clock. And I'll just quickly explain the rules to you. All it is we're just going to be giving you a couple of things to choose from, really. It's just a quick fire thing. And then you just tell us one or the other, or it'll just be a question and just think of something that comes to your mind first. And that's pretty simple. It's going to be
answer quick.
Yeah, as quick as you can. I mean, if you don't want to answer, just say pass.
Yeah, you can pass on anything. Don't feel pressure to answer anything. We don't want to put you in any trouble. Just answer whatever you feel comfortable with.
Exactly. So we're going to put Mac Huesler through the shot clock. Right, so I'm going to start us off. Here we go. Backhand, single or double-handed?
Double-handed.
Wilson or head?
Wilson.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing.
Cheese or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Topspin or slice?
Topspin.
Underarm serve, good or bad?
Good.
Something you can't do?
Sing.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Young Boys or Basel?
Basel.
Your favorite surface?
Yeah, that's a tough one now. Here we go. Clay. Altitude only.
You have to choose one. John Isner's serve or Nadal's forehand?
Isner serve.
Something that scares you?
That's a tough one, actually. What am I scared of?
He's not scared.
He's fearless. Maybe John Isner's serve.
John Isner serve.
Okay. I've lost where I am now. Favorite Grand Slam?
I'd say Wimbledon.
Hey, everyone says Wimbledon.
Yeah, no, pretty sure. I mean, I haven't played on grass enough to know how my grass court game is, but I feel like Wimbledon would be the best one to win.
Nice. iPhone or Samsung?
iPhone.
Starter or dessert?
Dessert.
Line judges or technology?
Line judges.
The first thing which comes into your mind?
Food.
It's getting to that time of the day.
We usually get chocolate.
Yeah. Holidays, relaxing or adventure?
Relaxing.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Read minds.
Who is the GOAT?
Roger.
Ah, that's a there you go.
Well done, you've got through it. You've managed to do the shot clock. How was it for you?
Good. Wasn't too tough.
Yeah.
No, I'm still thinking of what I'm scared of, actually.
Oh,
I'm in fear at the moment.
I'm impressed that there wasn't anything that just came to mind. A fearless man. There, I threw that one in there as a new one today. I was like, I didn't think that was going to catch you out. But yeah, the fearless Mac Huesler on tour in 2021. That's it. No, he's not scared of anyone on the tour.
That's true.
Yeah, and we'll let you get some food. It looks like you're hungry as well.
We really appreciate having you on the podcast. You've been an absolutely fantastic guest. We love watching you play this year, and we can't wait to see you play next year. And hopefully we can come to a Challenger tour or even an ATP tour match and watch you play. Yeah,
Thank
come
you.
watch you live.
Yeah, we'll be
Great.
cheering you on in the stands hopefully one day. All the best with Australia if it goes ahead. If we're in Australia, that'd be great. See you there as well. And yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. No. Cool. It's great. Thanks for the invitation.
Cheers. No worries. We'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Take care, mate.
Bye, guys.